going on, Born Legend? Thanks for jumping in. I'm going to get some things adjusted here, and then we'll get started on shipping. Rick, Thrifted by Ink. What's up, buddy? Welcome, YouTube. I'm getting set up, but I'm almost ready to go. I've got TikTok and YouTube live right now, so I'm going to be rolling pretty quickly. Today's going to be a quick video compared to previous weeks. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So hope you guys had a great weekend of sales. Mine were slow. They weren't that great, but I'm thankful for any sales I get. I think I got close to 700 on the 3-day stretch. So I've got about 22 items to ship out today. I've got some items back there against the wall. I've got a couple of hard goods. I'm going to start shipping. But if you have any questions, guys, please put it in the chat. I'll get to it eventually. If you just want to say hi, Thrifted by Ink. Rick already says what's up in TikTok. So what's going on? Says it was a slow weekend as well. I've reached out to a couple resellers and heard that it was slow. So not sure why, but yeah, we'll move into shipping, and let me know you're watching, especially on YouTube. If you're watching, all I can see is a number count. So let me know and say hello. All right, let's go. Let's get this going. As I always do, I'm going to show you exactly what I sold. I'll give you the price. And without going into further detail, I'll just show you what's selling on eBay this past weekend so you can get an idea for things to pick up. But yeah, I'm going to go for it now. I just sold this morning. I actually relisted this item last week. It was a brand new Tommy Bahama shirt. It was men's large. I mean, the color is like a dark brown, so that may be why it took a little while to sell. I had it August is when I picked it up. Sold it for $45 brand new, which is a great price on this. I think I paid 15 bucks for this, 10 to 15. So profit wasn't as high, but still I probably made $20 profit once you subtract out cost of goods on this vintage Tommy Bahama shirt. What's been going on in your world out there? Anyone have any large sales they want to talk about this morning? Next up, these Callaway golf shorts I sold. Callaway is a brand where if you look for it's got like looks like a V, but that's kind of their logo right there. It's kind of hard to see actually. But yeah, sold these this morning last night for $20 all in. They had a flaw on them. I think they had like a loose seam. So I didn't get as much as I wanted, but 20 bucks for a loose seam, that's okay. Rick says, sold a military Kevlar for 75. I had 19 in on it. Wow, that's amazing, Rick. Great flip there. All right, next up, golf shorts are in this weekend. Guys, don't be afraid to start listing like spring and summer attire because the last one I just showed you and this one is another golf brand pair of shorts, FootJoy, which I've talked about quite a bit. There's the logo right there, but I got $27 for these golf shorts used. 27 bucks going to Paducah, Kentucky. I only paid 4 bucks for them, so that profited me about 15 to 18 bucks. Got some more people jumping in. Patty Bailey, welcome. My LK Box Designs, hello. Hello from Montana. Huda. Hello, Montana. Thrifted by Inked asked, golf shorts, what brand? Well, the last ones are Callaways. These right here that I'm showing you are FootJoys. FootJoy is probably one of the best golf brands to be on the lookout for. Actually, I didn't catch the weight on that. I think it was 12. Yeah. Those are, FootJoy is the best one. Reseller on the road, jumping in on YouTube. What's going on? Always in here on Monday mornings. Good to see you. All right, sold these cycling gear. These are like more of a cold weather cycling pants. I'm not as familiar with this brand, meaning I've sold a few of these, but I don't typically pick up this brand all the time. It's one of those cycling brands that's good, but I just don't see it that much. Novara, Novara. And these are like women's, like wind resistant pants for like colder weather. So obviously it's still cold here, and I'm sure this is going to Oregon, so I'm sure it's cold up there because it seems like it's always cold in Oregon. But I got 29 bucks for these with shipping. And cycling brands definitely have some money in them. So if you know what to look for, you can find it. If you guys are just jumping in, thanks so much for coming in, whether you're on YouTube or on TikTok. Please, if you have a question, put it in. I'll get to it. I'm going to move quite quickly on this video. I usually spend an hour and a half to 2 hours, but I'm going to try and get it under an hour if I can, get all these things shipped. This next item, I'll get to that in just a second. Reseller on the road asked the question. I'll answer here in just a sec. This next item I sold. I finally just took an offer. I think this guy making offers over a period of time. And I just got to where I was like, I'm just ready to sell this. I've had it since June 20th of 2019. So, we're coming up on almost 2 years. And it was a brand new with tags, Pendleton. I mean, you can see the tag hanging right there. Pendleton, Biscayne shirt, 2XL. I'm not sure why it took so long to sell and why I got so little. It was a great size, great color. I only got 25 bucks with shipping. I was trying to get 30. The guy just kept, I think the same guy kept coming back and just making the same offer. So I just finally accepted it because, like I said, this needed to move. 2 years is way too long to have a clothing item. So 25 bucks, it's gone. I didn't make that much. I think I made like $10 on this. But the tag on that is retail of 70 bucks. So I'm not sure why, for something that originally retailed for 70, you would think I could get at least 35 to 40 bucks for that. Going to Fillmore, California. Reseller on the road asked on YouTube, how many orders did you have this weekend? I have 22. I'm waiting on 2 payments. So once those go through, I'll have 24 total for the weekend. And then I had a couple this morning. So yeah, it's kind of been an average. Like my weekends over the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, I've been averaging around in the 20s for total shipments between Friday and Monday morning. So it's low, but I'm making decent profit and I'm able to live off the money that I'm making. So that's all I ask for. I'd like a little more, but we'll see. Once this COVID stuff goes away, I'm assuming that sales will pick up and stay up for a while. Rick on TikTok asked, you had any luck with FootJoy shirts? Just sold a golf shirt. Yeah, it really depends on the shirt, Rick. That's a great question. You got to make sure it's one of the newer FootJoys. This is something where vintage does not mean better. If you have an old FootJoy shirt that's cotton, people aren't going to buy it. They don't want cotton in the hot summer. So you're looking for polyester. You're looking for great designs, bright colors. Those are kind of the newer golf trends. you know, and even if you get like a FootJoy that has like the Country Club logo or something on it, I still can get money for those. Most people don't care. They're just looking for some golf shirts to wear with their buddies out on a summer day. But it, you know, depending on the logo that you have either on the sleeve or on the chest, if it's like a TPC course or like a course where, you know, a major golf tournament has been played, it's worth more money. So you kind of always want to look up, if you're not familiar with golf, you want to look up the courses that are on the shirt, because, you know, if it says like Pebble Beach, that's going to be worth more money than if it just says Happy Hollow Country Club, you know, something I just made that up. But LL Bean going out today? I don't think so. I don't think so. Polo Ralph Lauren, and Ralph Lauren was the big winner this weekend. T Vince asks on TikTok, do I ever pick up Field and Stream vintage heavy shirts? Well, T Vince, if you're still in here, he says, I guess for hunting and fishing. I don't pick up Field and Stream. I've got one item that I've been sitting on for a long time, and it's like a fleece sweater. So I just don't pick up that brand. I think it's a lower end hunting brand. So I do pick up hunting and fishing brands, do sell well, but not that one for me, at least. Maybe, you know, if any of you in here have had better luck than I have, let me know, but just haven't sold that brand. And it seems to me like it's one of those cheaper. I've already said that, so I'm moving on. All right. Rick says he hit top-rated seller, upgraded to next level store. Nice, Rick. Way to go. Top-rated seller is a thing to be proud of for sure. And yeah, if any of you can get to top-rated seller, it takes obviously some great customer service, some always getting pretty much for the most part on-demand shipping, meaning you're shipping it out when you say you're going to ship it rather than late. And watching your defects. So Rick, way to go. Let's move on to the next item. I've got a string of Polo Ralph Lauren's here, and these actually went pretty quickly. I got this Polo Ralph Lauren shirt. It had like 2 front pockets, and it was an XL tall, this navy blue. I sold for $29 with shipping, going to Saginaw, Michigan. I'm pretty sure it's under a pound, but I just need to make sure. Yeah, sitting right at 1 pound. 15 ounces to be exact, so we'll be okay on this one. Double check it with the package just to make sure it's not over a pound. And we're good to go. All right, this next item up, going to Melrose, Massachusetts, is another Polo Ralph Lauren like sweater. This is a XL as well. There's a horse logo right there. Just a heavy cotton sweater, like a pullover, 4th zip. There's the tag. And this one's definitely over a pound. I got $33 on this one on a best offer. Going to Massachusetts, a state that I would love to visit one day, get to the Boston area. It's on the short list of vacations we are going to take soon. All right, next up, another Ralph Lauren. This was a beautiful shirt. I think I paid $15 for this, and the reason why I did is it's 100% linen. It's a 2XL. And it's brand new with tags. So great, 3 great things working for me on this one. Going to Ormond Beach, Florida. I got $50 for it on an offer. Offer came in yesterday, took it. So this one's going out, $50. I've got my favorite sale of the weekend coming up. So stay tuned. It was a fast flip for sure. And may have been my highest flip too. All right. Speaking of hunting and like outdoor shirts, T Vince was just asking on TikTok about Field and Stream. That's not a brand to pick up, but this next one is Cabela's. It's got to be the right shirt. It's got to be the right fabric. And this one was. It's like a chamois shirt, and it's a heavy cotton, better, like a great layer for outdoor cold weather. So I got $36.83 for this, and I only paid $4 for this shirt. That, if I could do flips like that 5 to 10 times a day, 37 out of 4, and do that, like I said, a handful of times, I would just be money. It would be the sweet spot for me. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be more than a pound, so it's going to have to go first class, or sorry, priority mail. Priority mail, padded flat rate envelope. Got people jumping in. If you're still here and you're saying hi, say hello. But if you've got a question, let me know. I love questions. If you're just watching just to watch, that's fine too. So either way. This one is going to Portland, Oregon, another place I've never been to. And another place I'd love to go to, the Pacific Northwest. All right, last item, not for the day, but last item out of this batch, and then I'm going to print out these labels. And Reseller on the road, I didn't ask you, but how was your weekend of sales in response to your question? Going to Boulder, Colorado, a place very close to where I used to live. These Mountain Hardwear outdoor shorts. There's the tag on the back right here. You can see like that, that nut is kind of their icon. And then I'll show you guys down here. I got $23. These were like men's smaller size, like nylon hiking outdoor shorts. $23 from $4 going to Boulder, Colorado. All right, let's print the labels out for that 10. Kind of in a hurry this morning because, as you know, some of you who may have been watching over the last few weeks, my mail lady's been coming like several hours earlier than she normally does. So I've got to get these on the porch before she gets here so that I don't have to make a stop at the post office. All right, let's see here. Now I'm just entering the shipping prices into spreadsheet just for tracking. Anyone out there, I mean, I asked this earlier, but some of you may have been jumping in later. Anyone out there have any good sales this weekend that you want to talk about? My best sale of the weekend is still coming up. I alluded to that, but all right, we're plugged in over here. Let's get these 10 out. Oh, man. Oh, there it is. I thought I was in trouble here. Every time Apple does an update, for some reason on these new updates, it always messes with my printers. And I have to like reset my printing stuff. So I thought I was in trouble, but because it's been saying I have an update that I need to update, and for that reason, I haven't been updating it. It's kind of neither here nor there, I guess. Adam, what's going on, brother? I see Adam is here. Gallogrody, he awesome reseller, got great content on his channel, and for those on YouTube, I'm talking about a TikTok reseller, Adam Gallogrody. He I believe he works for like a men's suit. Help me out, Adam. Where do you work? But I know that you know a lot about like men's sports coats and men's like formal dress attire, and so that has become a really good seller for me lately. Like men's sport coats, men's blazers, corduroy stuff, just all kinds of men's more like formal wear. Words have escaped me this morning. All right, half down. Let's move on to the next batch. Retail for menswear. Yeah, that's it. Sometime I want to pick your brain, Adam, on like some higher end blazers, because right now I've been finding, which has been great. I've been finding blazers and sports coats that sell in that like $40 to $50 range. But I know there are a couple of resellers out there, and I'm sure you probably sold some too, that are selling like used menswear, I guess, for lack of a better word, blazer sports coats for closer to 100. I'm trying to find what brands those are that are selling like higher end, like 100 plus, just to look for those, because there's so many of those like blazers and sports coats. There's so many at the store, and they're always like $5 or $6, and I just don't know without looking up every single one. But they've been making great money for me. All right. Let's see here. Reseller on the road. I sold a massager for $500, paid $200 on Craigslist. Whoa. $300 profit on a $200 item. Wow. Nice, buddy. There's so many people out there looking for stuff on like Facebook and Craigslist. I just haven't. I used to do it more in Denver just because I had more people around me. And there are a couple flips that I would go pick up off someone off of like Facebook and then sell on Facebook. I just haven't done it in a while. And I think just because I've had so much stuff to look for at thrift stores, but I know there's money to be made. I just wouldn't know where to start on stuff like that, besides like brand new electronics or things like that. Thrifted by Inked. Rick says we need to get some bearded resellers for a bearded thrifter calendar. I love the idea. Can I have November if I could just have November, that's my birthday, my favorite month. Fall. All right, we'll finish up the clothing, and then I've got a couple pairs of shoes and one item that's like a breakable, and then I'll ship those. Carbon to cobalt. Actually, let me check to make sure if I've got duplicate states here. So Missouri and California are my 2 duplicates. Let's see. November is mine. Sweet. Carbon to cobalt. Great brand. This is a short sleeve. I haven't sold a short sleeve yet, but there's the tag up there. Remember, carbon to cobalt, not carbon. They're different brands. Carbon doesn't sell well, but carbon to cobalt sells really well. I got 25 bucks for this 2XL, like I think it's cotton. Yeah, 100% cotton shirt. Palm Springs, California. Reseller on the road asked a great question on YouTube, and he's actually not far from me here in Northwest Arkansas. I think, are you in Fort Smith? I think if I remember right. He asked, have you had any problems with shipping lately? Packages keep getting lost in Fayetteville, which is kind of like the distribution center here where I am. And yeah, I've actually got a case right now. Buyer ordered a pair of pants I sent first class, paid 30 bucks. They've been, it says they're in Fayetteville, but I think they've probably moved on. It's just sometimes it doesn't update. That happened quite a bit in Q4 when we were having like shipping delays due to a lot of different things. I had several packages that said they were processed at Fayetteville, but then never moved. And then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks later, it would just show up as processed through another center. So I'm not sure if it's getting stopped here or if it's in transit at another building and hasn't been scanned in. But I've got one now, and I just told the person, you know, it was a woman who ordered like a pair of pants brand new for 30. Again, it's been 2 weeks since I shipped it, and she's like, I really want these pants. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. But I did tell her this morning, let's give it one more week. And because it's first class, I'm not covered. So if they lost it, I'm out. I just basically said, let's give it one more week. And if they don't show any further tracking, meaning there's no updates, even if it just, you know, let's just hope that it shows up somewhere rather than the same status. If it doesn't, I'll just go ahead and refund her the 29 bucks. But as long as it updates and shows movement, then we'll consider it updated. Next up, this Eddie Bauer flannel. It's men's XL tall. Had this for almost 2 years now as well. I got $21.50 on it just to move it. Eddie Bauer is not a brand that I pick up very much at all, so I don't necessarily recommend this brand anymore. I used to pick it up more than I do now. Under a pound, sweet. Also going to California. Yeah, and that's one of the disadvantages of shipping first class. Obviously, package gets lost, you're out. So fortunately, 29 bucks isn't going to break me, but you know, I'm glad it wasn't like a $60 shirt that went first class. All right, next item had a flaw. Danny on YouTube is jumping in, says, go Hogs. The basketball team is 2-0 on this past week. Won both their games and won against the top 6 or the number 6 team. So the Hogs are moving up for anyone who cares about basketball. Larry Mahon, I got this for $15. Best offer. It had a flaw. Think it doesn't say here, but it either had like a mark or a rip or something. And so still got 15 on the shirt. I paid $4 for, and happy to get this out going to Oklahoma. Reseller on the Road says Arkansas is ranked number 13. They were 20th last week. They jumped down 7 spots. So I was checking right before I went on to see if they'd updated the rankings. So thanks for sharing that. We're getting hot at just the right time. We've won, I think, 9 of 10, which is, it's probably one of the best years we've had since the year that we went to the national championship game. Any other basketball fans out there, like college basketball? And if so, who do you root for? Because the Hogs have been down a lot in the last 20 years. They haven't had very many winning seasons that are worth talking about. And so this is one of the best seasons we've had in probably 30 years. All right. Columbia button-down shirt, 3XB. Another brand I don't recommend picking up. I don't pick up anymore, but 3XB sells well. I only got $21 for this, and it's gone. You know, and 21 bucks on this shirt, it's not bad. I'm usually shooting for a minimum of 24, 25. So, I mean, I still made money on that, but I don't want to pick up a shirt for 4 and then sell it for 21. There's just not enough profit. I mean, 10 bucks is okay. That's more of what I used to shoot for. Now I'm hoping to get, I'd say $12.50 and higher. But if I can average like $15 to $16 profit per item, I do so much volume that's good for me. And like this month so far, last year, and my average for last year, I averaged $13.80 profit per item. And this year so far in the first 2 months, really, I'm at $17.39, so around $17. So it's getting better, mainly because I'm getting pickier on what I'm picking up. All right, did I do that one? Eddie Bauer flannel. This is one of the rare Eddie Bauer shirts that I picked up recently because it was a larger size and it was a flannel, heavier, and sold it for $32 all in. So that's a rare flip for me on Eddie Bauer. And so, yeah, happy with this one because, like I said, I had it about a week and it went for 32 bucks out of $4. Adam says, nobody wants to see my mug in the calendar. Come on, Adam, you got to get in there. Of course, people want to see you on a monthly picture. All kidding aside, though, because let's be real, I don't know if I want to be on a calendar for bearded resellers. I'm just not. It just doesn't feel like me. All right, going to Washington. That Eddie Bauer flannel, just under £1. Any golf fans in the house? Got this Masters collection. I'll show you the logo here if you're not familiar. There's the Masters logo. The Masters is a golf tournament that takes place in April. And so this is the logo that here, I'd say, you know, it's March 1st now. So I'd say in the next couple of weeks, people are going to start looking for this logo because usually, I don't know this year with COVID if it's the same as always, but it's always the first week of April or second week, somewhere in there, this golf tournament. So if you find this stuff, list it, and you know, maybe even look over items that you have that have this logo because people are going to start buying this stuff now to sport for that tournament that's coming up. And this is going to South Carolina. And then here's Masters, again, is the name of the tournament. There's the Masters tag, Masters collection. You'll find a bunch of different brands that have that on there, like Masters Tech, Masters Collection, Augusta Golf Shop. These are all brands that will sell these. Greenville, South Carolina. Are you being for real on TikTok? Says, what size poly mailers do you buy to ship clothing? It's a great question. Okay, I got that in. Let me answer that with, I get the eBay branded poly mailers. So as you notice, all of them have this eBay logo, and I use the eBay shipping coupon that I get with my store. So I'm pretty much getting these for free or pretty much nothing after, I use that coupon. So this is a, I think it's a 9x11. I think that's this size. It's either 9.5 by 11 or 9 by 11. So that's what this one is. And that gets most of my like dress shirts, shorts, some pairs of pants. And then I've got this other size, again, eBay branded 12 by 15. Between these two, those are the only two poly mailers I buy. And that takes care of everything for the most part that will be a pound or less that fits in these. I don't think I've ever had an issue with something being too big that was a pound or less that I had to find something else. That's not like, I guess, maybe more hard goods related, but yeah. And speaking of pants that I would get in the smaller one, here's a pair of Under Armour golf pants. Again, guys, golf attire is heating up right now. And there's the Under Armour logo, which, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, already know what that looks like. These sold for $24 all in on a best offer. Under Armour is a great golf brand. It's up there with FootJoy in, I would say, sales for me. Like 24, 25 is on the low end that I'll get for pants or shorts for Under Armour, which I'm happy with that, because if I can take 4 and turn it into 25, I'll take that all day. But sometimes I get lucky, I get a full price sale and it will go for 30 to 32 bucks. Let me make sure I'm not missing some questions. Yeah, thanks, Adam, on the advice on the clothing, or on the coats. I found that even some of the lower end coat brands like Stafford, I wouldn't pick up a dress shirt from them, but if it's a really good item, meaning corduroy or a great color and it's in good condition, I found that even some of those brands I won't budge on for a shirt, I can still make $35 to $45 in a jacket, which is unbelievable in my opinion. It kind of opens up some other avenues. I just don't know the higher end stuff besides like Orvis, Brooks Brothers. Yeah, and he says, as far as looking into like sports coats or sport coats, patterns, textures, quality. Yeah, exactly. And those of you that have like a really good eye for quality, you can tell when something looks looks great quality. And that usually I'll look at the sleeves, I'll kind of feel to see the fabric. And if it's like, this is really good, then I'll look it up. I don't look up everything, but yeah, I agree with you there. Morning from sunny Yakima. Go Dogs. Morning. Not all wools are created equal. Yeah. I found that wool's great on a blazer, and obviously, or on a like a suit jacket or something, but doesn't mean I won't pick it up if it's not wool, but it's just been a great seller for me. Obviously, some are going to sell better than others. Danny asks, what is your best month and how much does seasonal clothing affect you? What do you mean by best month, Danny? You mean like best month in sales, best month over the last year? If you can kind of clarify that. I'm assuming, obviously, what's my best month to sell in general? Is that what you're saying? Statistically, he says best sales month. I would say my best sales month would have to be, I'm just looking back at prior years to see when I made the most. It's been kind of random over the last 4 years. But if I don't know if I can give you my best month per se, but I'll give you the top 2 or 3 and just know that these are always going to be, for the most part, good months for me. I would say May is a great month. That's when people start to move into summer apparel. By then, most people have kind of put away their winter stuff and they're starting to pick up things for summer, whether it's vacation items or clothing, short sleeves, shorts. So May is a good one. September is a good one. So think about when things transition. That's kind of when I feel like, at least for me, that's my best month. September, people are getting settled. If they've from the summer, maybe they went on vacations over the summer, but September, people are starting, if they haven't already, they're starting school. They're kind of getting into the routine of what does life look like now that kids are back in school. That's when they start to buy again in the fall, because the summer is typically always slow. June, July, beginning of August is pretty bad. For the most part, it kind of dips a little bit for clothing. And again, people are going on vacations. Excuse me. People are going on vacation, so they don't spend a lot of money because they're spending money on their vacation. So I would say May. Oh man, I need to get some water. Sorry about that. I would say May, September, and then November, is always going to be a great, just because people are buying Christmas stuff, and sales are always going to be up for me in November and December. So those are kind of the 3 or 4 time periods when I experienced the most sales. All right, next up, it's buckle, or not buckle. I guess it is probably the same thing, but BKE sweater. I had this for a while too, not something I'll pick up now, but I got it gone for $25. Still made money on it, but BKE sweaters just don't sell well for me. And then the second part of Danny's question was how, I'll answer that as I'm shipping this, but how much does seasonal clothing affect you? I would say, sorry, I'm just noticing something on the bottom of this. I need to see if I put that in the description. I think it's okay. Seasonal obviously is going to affect my sales. Like, just as an example, I've purchased, I always just pick up stuff. Doesn't matter whether it's in season or not. I pick up shorts in the winter and I list them. I pick up jackets and sweaters in the summer and I list them. Now that's my strategy, and it may not be the best one, but you'll still find that like people in other countries are going to buy some of those things, because they may be on different seasonal patterns than you are. But just for example, like, I haven't sold very many golf shorts over the last 3 to 4 months, but now I'm starting to sell them a lot more. So it definitely affects with clothing. And I know Danny's asking more so because his strategy is more, if he buys shorts in the winter, he'll hold on to those, put them in a bin, and then he won't list those until the time is right. So that's his strategy as well. And that's another thing you can do too. Not to say that one is better than the other. It's just that's the way to go, or that's one of 2 options that you can do with your eBay selling for seasonal items. And I'm sure there's something to that, what Danny is doing, storing up items in his bin and then listing them when the season is right. He's probably gearing up to list short sleeves and shorts now for the spring. So I just don't do that because there's always a buyer out there that will buy something off season, and I may be paying quite a bit to list those, but I'd rather just get it out. That's my mentality. Obviously, this one's going to be heavier than a pound, so got to go in a padded flat rate. West Virginia. And this last clothing item that I've got to show you, at least clothing item that's not shoes, was probably my best flip this weekend. Yeah, it was my highest flip this weekend. I listed this, and within 2 days of listing it, I sold it for $56.83. This vintage Pendleton wool shirt. There's the tag right there. It was just a navy blue, but the thing that brought in more money were the, see if I can show you without completely unfolding this. It had padded sleeves, so you can see right there, or padded elbows on the back. Any shirts that have those padded elbows are going to sell for more money. So 56 bucks or 57, and I paid $4 for this shirt. So I just love flips like that. Going to New York. All right, got those 10 done. We're going to get these labels printed. All right, see you, Danny. He says he's taking off to drop some stuff off at the post office. I mentioned him quite a bit, but he's always in these YouTube lives, and he's really close to me, like 15, 20 miles away in distance, and he's another full-time eBay reseller. All right, there it is. Occasionally we'll get together and get like lunch and stuff and just talk about reselling, because if you're a reseller and you're married, let me just say that your spouse may not be as excited about sales and numbers as you are. So you need someone to talk to, right? Anyone out there relate with that? Like my wife, she's a smart, intelligent person. She's doesn't get as excited about numbers and analytics as I do. So if I just have to remember, like, even though she's a good sport and she'll listen and nod her head, like sometimes I just stop myself and say, sorry, you don't really care about this, do you? And she's like, not really. It's about numbers and strategies and things like that. Danny and I, we get together, and that's what we do. We talk about strategies, kind of just bounce back and forth with questions that we have on how we run our businesses and what we're doing. All right, let's get these out. So much 3 sellers, so we love sharing big sales and overall numbers. Talk to my wife. I don't think it's definitely not something that we could both go full-time right now. Like, we need more money coming in than that. And she makes a decent salary, so that helps. But I've thought about it. I'm like, man, if we could both do this together and then just have the same schedule. But she works from home, so it's pretty much like we are doing this together. She works on the other side of this wall. So she just needs something different than this. This would not be as exciting for her as it is for me. She loves thrift stores, and she loves, like, we're both kind of, we try and be thrifty, and that, like, why pay $30 for a shirt when you can get it at a thrift store for $5? She's like that too. Loves a sale, very smart with her money, but just this doesn't get her excited about running an eBay business. But she's definitely my #1 fan. I got to say that. She supports me really well. And when I wanted to go full-time, it was a conversation we had been having for over a year. Like, when is the right time to go full-time? And she was very supportive. And we would talk, and it was like, this isn't the right time. But she would be like, whatever you do, I support you, and I'm going to help you as best I can. So it definitely pays to have someone who's in your corner, whether they like reselling, whether they want to resell or not. Just have someone to talk to, and like I said, who can encourage you on days when you're not seeing the picture clearly. There are definitely days. Wet Ducking says, new full-time reseller. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Anytime. Thanks so much. Where are you watching from? We got 3 more items to ship. There were definitely times, and still times today, but definitely when I first went full-time, it was hard. I mean, it's just a different story when you're counting on you bringing in sales to make, an income. Like, when I quit my job, I no longer had a decent salary. And so it just became, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to get things going quickly. Wet Ducking says Oregon. Shipped out a couple to there. Thanks for joining from Oregon. And so, like, I remember going to bed just like down, because I just analyze and think things through quite a bit, and just be like, man, I don't know if this is going to work or not, because it takes a while to build. Once you go full time, it takes a while before you start to notice results, like substantial results, because you got to build it up, right? And at this point, when I went full time, I had a 1.5 years of part-time eBay. When I went full-time, I was probably 800 listings or so. I mean, I had a good amount of inventory, but still, I probably waited 6 weeks to notice a huge jump in sales from building full-time. All right, let's grab these things. She was like really awesome in encouraging me and saying, look, take the pressure off yourself. If it doesn't work out, you can do something else. I'm like, I don't want to do something else. I want this to work. And she was like, it'll work. You'll be fine. Like, we've got this. We're okay. And so, yeah, it was hard at first. And when we moved back to Arkansas, it was hard again. Like, I cut my inventory in half from 2,000 listings to under 1,000. So, I mean, again, I went through a dip where I wasn't making a lot in sales compared to prior months. And then COVID hit. I mean, it was just a lot of stuff going on. So she's been a really good support for me. And I'm sure I do the same for her as well. Let's hope so. Jeremy Colts Comics in the live. Full-time reseller, lifetime model. Is that what you are, Jeremy? Always great seeing you, Jeremy. I don't remember if these are going to fit in here. I think I can get them in. Yeah, they're going to fit in there. I sold these Sperry shoes. I picked up 6 online. I've got my wife calling. I'm going to have to jump out, and I'll jump back in, guys. She has a question, I'm sure. Hey, babe. right, sorry about that, guys. My wife needed me for a second, had an important, urgent question. So we'll get TikTok going again and see who jumps in. But for those on YouTube, these Sperry sneakers, I picked up like these casual shoes. They got like a cool like flag pattern all over them. And I picked up 6 online for 15 each. Sold these for 50 bucks. So I've sold through like a couple of these, 2 or 3. Already got, I guess, 3 pairs left to go. So all right. Those are going to Lexington, Kentucky, just under 2 pounds. That's going to be cheap because that's really close to me. $8 for 2 pounds. Another pair of shoes going out the door, New Balance. These just have a harder time selling for me, so I've cooled off on picking these up. I think I paid $8 for them. And sorry, TikTok, for having to jump off. I needed to answer my wife's question. She had an urgent errand that she was running today and needed an answer. But these New Balance 574s, I think I paid $6 to $8 for them. I only got 28 bucks, so I won't pick these up again, but they're going to Aurora, Colorado. Usually if I can find the gray 574s or the 994s, you know, that's kind of more their standard look, and they have a little more desire because people want that gray color. But I don't usually pick up the other colors like this. How many listings do you try to do each week? It's been hard, honestly. I've been trying to do more now just because with TikTok, YouTube, some of these lives I'm doing, we have a show on Thursdays. I mean, there's just a lot of time that's taken away from reselling and doing eBay. So I would say 75 to 100 if I were just focusing on eBay, I could do about 125 new listings each week. But that's more when I was in Colorado, and that's all I did. Once I went to YouTube and just putting out content and stuff, I would say I can do more. I'm doing more like 50 to 75 each week now. So it's definitely a different amount just because my time is torn between several things. I'm gonna go ahead and get those labels out just to finish off the shoes. I don't know if you guys can see that chili vinegar thing that I have on the table behind me. But those things have been such a great find for me. I picked up 3 of those, and that's the last one to sell. Picked them up probably 2 months ago. All right, printing these out. Ask how many new listings per week or month would you recommend to go full time? On what are you selling, first of all? I don't want to just give a blanket answer just because I don't want, everyone's different. It also depends on what your profit margin is. But I mean, just as an example, I was close to 1,000 items on eBay when I went full time. I'm not one that likes change, so I probably could have. If it were up to me, I probably would have waited a little longer, just because I'm more conservative in my decision making. But I also had a spouse at home who was making a decent amount of money, and most of our bills and all of our expenses were paid by her salary. So it really took pressure off me to have to bring in a lot of money. So it just depends. Do you have someone, if you're married or have someone that you're sharing income with, it's a different story than if you're just single. So it's hard to answer that one per se on a general basis. But I think, I'm trying to think of how to answer that so it's fair and honest for you, for a general guideline. Basically, this is what I heard when I was part-time. I sat down with a friend who was an Amazon reseller, and he was kind of coaching me as I was starting off on eBay. I was probably a few months in. He said that the general consensus is when you are making 25% of your income on a side hustle, then you can go full-time and devote attention to it. I waited until I was making about 50% just because I wanted to be a little more sure on that. As far as new listings each week, to answer your general question, I mean, I think when I went full-time, just to give you an idea on where I was doing probably 40 to 50 listings a week, if that gives you an idea, as a part-time hustle. And then, again, once I went full-time, I was doing 100 to 125 listings a week. So it just depends on, you've also got to look at how long you've been doing it. Have you been doing it for 3 months? I would say if you've been doing it less than a year, give it a full year before you go full-time. You need to see and especially this year is just more random than other years because of COVID. You need to see the full retail cycle, because it's going to impact. It's not always, if you just started selling in September of 2020 and you're like, whoa, Q4 was amazing, and then you haven't seen that in June, July, it's going to slow down quite a bit. You need to see that stuff. You need to know a full retail cycle. So I would say give it at least 1 year. And I would say wait as long as you can. Just be a little more cautious in that regard. But again, it's also just going to depend on whether you are the only one on that income or whether you have a spouse who can contribute as well. So I don't feel like that was a great answer, and I don't know how else to answer that. But observe your trends as far as, have you noticed, whether you're a math person or not, have you noticed that you're growing? And if so, by how much? And you can kind of project out, if I just keep growing my store by this much, then I'll be able to go full-time at this date or something like that. And that will help. Nick and Renee, thank you. And Chris, for all of your shared knowledge and transparency. Well, thank you, Nick and Renee. They were in our last live show last Thursday. 333 says, thank you for all your advice. I appreciate it so much. Happy Monday. A lot of great comments coming in. Thanks, guys. Koki Pokey had a great haul in Seattle. Honestly, my wife and I went to Seattle 3 or 4 years ago, not with the intention of thrifting, but just we were taking a vacation. And like I said, we both love to thrift. So we went to some stores and scored big time on some Seattle. There's some designer stuff there and some higher end clothing in Seattle. If you ever go, take a look at it, because you may pay up for it, but you can find amazing stuff. Line Dancing with Nick and Renee on YouTube says, you should be close enough to your current income to make the leap from the dock to the boat without falling in. Yeah. I guess that's a great thing to keep in mind. And Filson is in Seattle. So yeah, Filson's a great brand. Wet Ducky, my wife's salary pays all our bills, so reselling full time was not as stressful. Yeah, and so that's the other thing. Like Styled by Darter, I would say if you have a spouse who their income is great, then and you talk to them and you guys are on the same page, that's another. I mean, that's huge. If you don't need your income, like your spouse can contribute and pay for all of your bills, takes a lot of the pressure off of it, and then that's another. And then I would say go for it. Once you've had some time on eBay, like a year of seeing the trends, the cycle. Robbie says, enjoy your content. Man, a lot of encouraging words this morning. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. We got one more item to ship, and then I'm going to close out this video. But I've got this piece. I picked up three of these varying like sizes, but all of these like chili pepper oil infused glass bottles. Remember these from the 90s? These, like I said, 3 of these for $10. This is the third one I've sold, and all of them went for $40 each, exactly on the dot. So I made $120 when you figure in I paid $10 to get 3. So be on the lookout for these like kitchen decor. I don't know. I don't really know what to call it except for like chili vinegar bottles. I was kind of shocked because I'd never picked them up before, didn't think to look. And when I saw anytime I see like multiple items, I'm like, oh, there's 3 of those. I should look those up and see what they're going for. And it was definitely worth it. And this one's going to Illinois, so not far. So shipping shouldn't be much. Let's see. So I think this is about 4 pounds. Yeah, it's 4 pounds, 1 ounce. So I'm going to add a pound for like packaging material in the box. So I'm just going to go ahead and say 6 pounds. And if it's less than that, I'll save. But let's go ahead and put it in the dimensions and for the box that I'm going to use. And USPS priority mail is going to be $9.36. So that's not bad for a 6 pound box. It's a lot cheaper. And again, it's going closer. FedEx is $12.08. UPS $9.93. My post lady hasn't come yet. I'm going to go ahead and go with USPS because I don't want to have to take anything to FedEx and UPS if I don't have to. And it's pretty much the same price as UPS. So $9.36. Let's get it going. I'm going to wrap it in one of these shoe boxes because this is kind of the perfect box for this piece right here. Yeah, we'll fit in there. Yeah, Koki Pokey on TikTok says, you've got to be kidding me. I never would have picked that up. I know, right? Like I said, it's the first time I've picked these up, and it's just been a moneymaker for me. $40 times 3. So, yeah, I'm so glad I thought to look it up. I'm always looking up random stuff like that. I don't typically spend a lot of time like in China or dishes or like breakables and stuff, but those caught my eye. NP Vintage, any reason you don't just weigh after you have the box like sealed? And this person says, I saw this on one of your TikToks and was curious. And it's a great question. I do weigh after, but I always weigh before because here's why. Like I've got these random like brown boxes that I bought on eBay. Now I have a couple of different sizes. So for what I'm usually going to be shipping. The reason why I weigh before is because I need to know, is it going to go in that brown box or is it going to go in a priority mail box? If I can put it in a priority mail box, then I'm not using my supplies because USPS supplies are free. So it's a free box for me. So if I'm going to ship it out priority mail, I'm not going to put it in here because this costs. And even though this may only cost me like 25 or 50 cents a box, I just don't want to use it. So that's why I'm mainly comparing the 3 different shipping services to see which one is it going to go in. That's a great question. And that's one I get quite a bit too. So thank you for asking that. All right, let's get to shipping it. This piece isn't like, I'm not concerned about it breaking as much because it's a heavy glass and it's all round and every part of it is very like sturdy. So it's not like a mug where the handle may be breakable. I'm not too concerned, but I still wrap this like 5 or 6 times around the bottle, as you can see. And then I'll put another bigger layer of the shipping bubble wrap around this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cover that top part. Make sure it's going to fit in this box, and it will. All right, now that I've covered the bottle, I'm going to go ahead and take this bigger bubble wrap and then completely fill the box. Not one layer or two too much. Try this again. Basically, just want to make sure that this isn't going to move at all. Like all the sides are pretty much filled with wrap. I'm just going to go ahead and cover this a little more since it is a little more breakable. All right, let's see how much it weighs. I'm guessing it's going to be over 5 pounds. And good news, we are under 5 pounds. So it's going to be cheaper than $9.36 because I went with 6 pounds as my estimate. That's $9.25. Well, look at that extra 11 cents. And I think we may just make the post office. Been missing her the last few Mondays. I always do on these breakable stuff. I always put these on. All right. Why did that not print? I just make sure to cover every side just in case. And bam, Monday is done. Monday's shipping. That's all my items that I have so far. Post office making money. Yep. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this here unless anyone has another question or something they want to say before I end. I did have a new offer, but it's not going to be a good one. I kind of got a sneak peek on it earlier. It came in about an hour ago. It's an item that I have 95, a pair of boots, 95 plus shipping. They made an offer for 20 plus shipping. So 20 is not going to cut it. Definitely way off. Still going to counter though with like a legit price that I would consider. More than likely they're not going to take it, but I always counter. Always counter. Yes, Cotton Top. I am in Fayetteville. Jake's reselling. Great question. Buyer asked me to put the declared value less than what the item is worth so they can avoid extra fees. I don't do it. You know, honestly, I would just do what you normally do and move on and just say, hey, sorry, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't think it's a scam per se. I think they're just wanting to save on fees because I'm guessing it's an international buyer that's going through the global shipping program. And once eBay gets it in Kentucky at their global shipping center, they're going to assess, you know, the value and then customs and things like that. And so I don't necessarily think it's a scam. I think they're just trying to save money. So I don't think you should be worried about it being a scam. Just tell them what you're going to do and move on. I mean, that's happened, but it's just people trying to cheat the system. And I get it. It's not a huge deal, but I wouldn't do it. I didn't know you were in Fayetteville, Cotton Top. I didn't know that you were in Arkansas, actually. Yeah, reseller on the road. Let me know when you're in Fayetteville. It'd be awesome. Grab lunch sometime. I'm usually thrifting in Bentonville once a week or so, but occasionally I hit up the Goodwills here. And even if you're just in town for the day, we can grab lunch or something. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for me on today's live. Appreciate you jumping in, and sorry about the interruption where I had to go for a sec. But I'm going to have to go. I've got things to do today, and if I don't get out there, she's going to come, and I'm going to have to take these to the post office if I miss her. So glad to chat with you all. Thanks so much for jumping in, the encouraging words, the questions, and we'll do this again sometime very soon. Hope you have a great one. We'll see you at TikTok and YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll catch you. Bye.